Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And it is garden planning 2020 time.
Yes, it is. That might sound crazy because we are 2 weeks till Christmas, but now's the time. It's time to get your plan, to get your seeds, to figure out what's going where, what you're growing realistically, what your plan is, because it starts next month.
Are you going to be selling starts in the spring? Are you just doing starts for yourself? What's your plan?
Yeah.
So we're going to go through ours.
We are.
To help you all out.
So you might be new to our channel. If you are, we're gonna lay out the whole thing. If you're not new here, you know that I grow a tea garden every year. I love my tea garden and I love my herbs. I use them for everyday tea. I use them for salves, for tinctures, ointments, all kinds of good stuff. So that's where this whole thing comes into play. Herbs take a little while.
Yes,
they can be tricky. They can be tricky to germinate. They can be tricky to grow. Once you get them started,
quick.
Yes, once you get them started, though, they are very easy. So that brings us into the time is now, because here in the next couple weeks, I am starting all my herbs, all of my tea garden herbs, all of the herbs, the bushes, all the plants. We're
planting in December?
Yes.
It's crazy to even think, right?
Yes, because last year I had a little bit of a late start on my herbs and they didn't get as big and prolific as I wanted them to.
Well,
so this year
they did. We had to sacrifice some of our harvest because it had that later start.
Yeah. So this year I will be starting all my herbs within the next 2 weeks, and that way I will get a jump start on everything. I'm going to start them indoors because some of them like to be really, really warm. We're going to start them indoors. They're easy to grow indoors. They're not picky about that. Some of them need sunlight. Some of them need minimal sunlight.
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 So do they need sunlight or sunlight?
Sunlight. But we'll take you through that whole process. Just know that if you're wanting to grow a tea garden or an herb garden like I am, then you need to be aware and start your herbs in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. When we're talking in this video, we're not going to give you 100% specifics on exactly what we're growing. We're going to show you some of our favorites. We're going to show you some books that you need to get now so you can really start educating yourself more. But this is phase one.
Yeah.
So we will go through 100% specifics on exactly what we're planning, when we're planning, when that time comes. But we want to get your minds working. We want to get you really start thinking about it hardcore instead of just dreaming, because the time is real now.
Yes. So along with the herbs in the next coming weeks, come January, we'll be starting all of our flowers, all of our zinnias, all of our morning glories, all of the amaranth, everything. All the flowers will be started in January because last year we started too late. So keep that in mind. Go ahead and get your flower seeds, get your plan for what you want to plant, and go ahead and start them come January 1 flower seeds because they take a while. Yep. They're not like vegetables. Flowers take a while.
And let's start here because we probably should open with this. If you're new to our channel, or if you've been here for a while but you don't know exactly where we are, we're in zone 6B.
We are.
So we're in Kentucky. So, this alters a little bit depending on your area, but 6B is kind of right in the middle of the country. And so that kind of helps you out. So you know where we are in 6B. If you're a little southern, you can start maybe a couple weeks later. If you're a little more north, you might start a week or two earlier, but that kind of helps you out with knowing exactly where we are.
That's right. So before we get into specifics of our favorites and what we're going to grow and stuff like that, we want to talk about something really important real quick. I was gifted this book last year, and I am so glad that I was. It was by a follower, and it helped me so much to learn what to plant where, what goes best with other things. And this is for vegetables, herbs. It's for all kinds of stuff. This book covers pest control, covers soil problems, how you can amend your soil, what you can do to fix that. It covers market gardening, all that kinds of stuff. It is a perfect book. So if you're looking to have a garden in the way that we are in this coming year coming up, you need to get this book.
Yep.
It's called Carrots Love Tomatoes.
Yep. So a big question that we've seen come up across a lot of social media is companion gardening. And so that's kind of the big focus point on this book. However, a lot of it is like what she said. It covers everything to do with vegetable gardening. But companion gardening is huge for multiple reasons. First, some vegetables do better when they're companion garden. That's just all there is to it. You're going to get bigger fruit. better plants. Everything's going to work better, like carrots and tomatoes. Second is pest control that comes with that. And then also in a small size garden, companion gardening, sometimes you get in your head like, I can't plant too much or I'm going to choke it out.
Right.
Well, that's not the case. That this book will tell you. You can plant a bunch of things in a small place as long as you're planting the right things together.
Right. And if you're anything like us, you want to make the most of your space with what you can. You want to make the most plants, the most vegetables, the most herbs. You want it to be prolific as it can, while using every single bit of space that you can, not wasting anything, not wasting any resources, and being able to preserve it. That's our big thing. You know, a lot of our stuff we do eat fresh, but 90% of it goes into preservation, which is what a lot of you all have been interested in. So that's where we're going to try to take you this year. We do garden for hobby, and we do garden for fun and because it makes us feel better. But at the end of the day, we garden because we want to preserve our food and be able to have enough for the next coming year until we can garden again.
We want to
so that's what we're trying to help you all do as well.
Right. We want to be, if right now, because we're in the middle of winter, if we had an ice storm here in Kentucky, which is extremely common, and the power goes out, wood burning stove's on, we throw a pot on it, we go in the pantry of everything that she can from our garden, eat and live like nothing even happened.
Yes.
That's, you know, it's hobby, but it's passion and it's food.
Yes. So one last time, we'll have this link below, but it's called Carrots Love Tomatoes by Louise Riot. And it's all about companion planting.
I'm so happy you said her last name because I would not have said Riot.
I mean, I hope it's right.
Riotte.
Yeah.
Not even a chance on this earth. I would have said Riot.
But she was an amazing gardener. Very, very loved, very knowledgeable. She wrote this book, thankfully, so that all the rest of us can have this knowledge. But I promise you, you will feel like you're an encyclopedia after you read it.
Yeah.
It's a great, great book.
And this is the time of year to do that reading and getting that knowledge and watching YouTube videos. So for sure, carrots love tomatoes.
All right, so we're gonna. Sorry, I'm so excited. So excited.
It's my time of year. I love it. Sorry.
We're both just super excited. We can't.
If you can't tell.
So first, we're going to talk about our favorite cucumber.
Yep.
Which a lot of you have asked about. So we want to just give an overview of that and why we love it so much and why we are so passionate about it. Then we're going to talk about our favorite peppers. We're going to talk about our favorite tomatoes, and then herbs. The herbs are going to be last, but I know you all are so. You're very curious about it, and I want to be able to tell you the herbs before it gets time and I'm planting, and then you're seeing the herbs, because then it's too late, right? I mean, then you have to order them and all that, and it's a whole process. So I want you all to know all of that before we go planting it.
We want you all to grow with us, instead of
not
after us, right?
Yes,
exactly. So, so everything we're showing you right now is out of the whole seed catalog from Baker's Creek, and they did an entire 2-page article over the Be It Alpha cucumber,
which is the one that we talked about all summer last summer. Our favorite cucumber ever.
Yes, and we will never grow another cucumber.
Ever.
So before we do jump into the Be It Alphas, there's so many heirloom varieties of everything.
Yeah.
Literally everything. And there's some exciting stuff out there, right? You know, you see a longer one, or you see a different color one, or this and that. Stuff that perks our eye interest, right? That's what I always call it, the eye interest. So the thing is, when something works, don't fix it.
Right.
If it's working, it's not broke, so you don't need to do something new. And it's okay to try new varieties, but don't max out your garden with something brand new if you're not sure it works. So that's the one thing that the biggest story out of all of this while you're searching for seeds is to never max out your garden with something that's new. Yes. It's fine to have a test plot to test out new varieties, but always stick with what's true before moving them out.
Yep.
So, Be It Alpha cucumbers. These bad boys is every single pickle that we got in our pantry.
Yeah, so it's BEIT Alpha, ALPHA. Be It Alpha.
Focus. There you go.
And
Be It
that,
Alpha.
it might be Bait Alpha. We're not really sure.
We're from Kentucky. We call it Be It.
But that's how you spell it, just in case you are looking for it.
Yes. So this cucumber is absolutely amazing. It's very prolific. It is so, hardy's the word, but it's resistant to
Everything.
the climate, everything, literally everything.
Literally.
If you go back and look at some of our garden walks, you see this plant looking deader than a doornail.
Yeah.
And we had fruit
Cucumbers
all over.
on the vine.
Yeah, cucumbers on the vine. It went from literally March till frost.
Yeah.
With these cucumbers, and we did nothing besides neem oil and fish minerals.
Yeah.
On
And
these
even
bad boys.
still, when you take them off that vine, they will sit on your counter for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Sometimes 3, maybe 4. They're extremely hardy,
Yep.
and they have no issues whatsoever.
And my favorite thing about any vegetable that we plant is something that is consistent with harvesting and then having the other fruit already ready. So there's some varieties that you'll see is you'll have big fruit ready to cut off, but your next fruit is this small.
Yep.
And then it takes a few more, maybe a week for them to get back up to size. These, be it alphas, every other day. Every other day. They're so close together with new fruit to ready to harvest fruit that you're ready to pick them.
Yeah.
All of that being said, that's not even the best thing about this cucumber. It does not have to be pollinated.
It doesn't.
You can grow this in a greenhouse without hand pollinating, without needing a bee or a butterfly or anything to come touch those flowers to pollinate it. So it is a greenhouse potential cucumber.
That's right.
That you can start early and have your cucumber production start very, very early.
Which
in the
we
year.
are going to do this year.
Absolutely.
Last year, we just put them out in the garden on the trellises. This year, I think we're going to save that space and we're going to put them in the greenhouse, let them grow up our cattle panel trellises because we have a cattle panel greenhouse. And, you know, obviously it'll be open in the spring and summer so pollinators can come in. But even if they weren't able to, these cucumbers would still
Cukes for days.
put off their fruit
Yeah.
because they don't have to be pollinated.
So last year, you heard us, we never complain. It's almost just funny. But of how many cucumbers we got, we're trying to double that this year. And the reason we're doing that is because we're trying out something that we're a big believer of that we've been doing, but a little bit on a smaller scale. And that's with a smaller garden, growing less of a variety and more of a few to pump production into preserving. That way the next year, we probably won't grow cucumbers.
Yep.
So what we mean more by that is right now, or last year, we grew varieties of everything. So we are expanding our garden this year, so hopefully we can still do the same amount. But for you all with a small garden, what we're offering and challenge you all to do, and maybe think about while you're doing your garden planning right now, is instead of growing 30 different types of vegetables, grow 15.
Yeah.
But double that 15 into the 30 amount. So grow cucumbers and tomatoes and double it. That way you can preserve 2 years worth of that variety or that type of vegetable, and then the next year you won't grow those.
That's right.
You're going to grow a whole different set of varieties. That way you can max out your preserving, and you're not just having a bunch of a little. You're having a lot of a lot.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
So grow the Be It Alpha cucumber. You will not regret it. You
Absolutely
will be
not.
like, oh my goodness, where has this cucumber been all my life?
Exactly. And we won't even look at another cucumber.
No.
Not going to happen
Never.
on the Stivers Homestead.
No. So if you know us or you don't know us, you know, or you'll find out that we love to grow peppers here. We're very successful pepper growers. We are very intentional about how we germinate them. It is always indoors on a heat mat with high moisture. Peppers have to be warm. They're not like tomatoes or anything else. You can't just put them out there and expect them to germinate. They won't do it.
Right. And we even have a greenhouse that we
Yes.
can put a heat mat in, but we still won't put our peppers out there
They
because
have to have tender loving care
Yes,
to
they do.
germinate.
they need the most attention out of any veggie, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, and we grow a lot of peppers. Last year we grew a lot, and our son loves peppers. We love peppers. We preserve a lot of them. We do a lot of things. So we're not going to go through all the peppers that we're doing, just our 2 favorites that we're excited to try this next coming year. Obviously, we're doing all the bells, cayennes, jalapenos, that kind of stuff. All of the stuff that you can preserve. But this year we are going to try the Sugar Rush Peach. It's a very sugar sweet
Give 'em a
flavor.
look at it.
And some fire too. They're beautiful. These guys right here. Hopefully you can see it.
There you go.
Yeah, hopefully. So that's one of the new ones that we're gonna try.
And one thing you'll see while she's flipping to the next one, we're not big hot pepper fans.
No.
We like the hottest we like is jalapeno. We
Yes.
don't go much hotter than that.
We do like to do cayenne for cayenne powder.
Yeah.
But jalapenos are about as hot as it gets for
we're
us.
thinking about a habanero just for the pepper, or just for the dried spices like the cayenne. Still debating.
Yep. So the last, second one that we're really excited to try this year is the yellow monster. It's a gigantic, elongated yellow bell pepper that can grow up to 8 inches long.
So,
yeah, right here. So if you have the catalog, it's on page 248.
And let's talk about colorful peppers just for a quick second. So here on 6B, like last year, we grew a bunch of different colored bell peppers, but we basically harvest them all while they were green. If you're in any kind of northerner climates, and I kind of consider what we are in that area, it's hard to get that beautiful color that sometimes you see in these catalogs, just because it takes so long to come off.
And you pick it when it's green because the pests come and then they start eating on it. It gets rotten and you just have all kinds of issues. So you just go ahead and pick it while you can.
Yeah, and the longer it sits on there, the worse it's off for that new starting fruit, right? Because all the energy's going into trying to make that bigger and change its color, and then your little guys are just sitting there struggling. So we normally do harvest these things while they're still fully green. But the reason we like that is because it's a giant.
Yeah.
And the color's pretty. We'll get a few that get that beautiful color, but we love that giant bell pepper aspect, and that's a big thing that at least caught my eye.
Yeah.
What you've all been waiting for, tomatoes, right? So we're growing a lot of varieties of tomatoes, and we do sell our starts.
We do.
So that's an aspect that we have to take into consideration.
all of our fruit.
Yeah, and there's actually some starts that we're gonna create and sell that we probably won't grow.
Yeah.
But we know that's what people like. What we're about to show you are 3 or 4 tomatoes that we are going to grow, and they're new to us.
Yeah.
We're going to have our classics, and we'll go through all that, but we want to show you all some of the new ones that we're excited about.
And really quickly, when he says that we sell our starts, we don't do farmers market and stuff like that. I just want to say that to encourage you all.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
We do our starts, and then we'll either sit down at the end of our driveway, or we'll go to the gas station down the road, or we'll post them on Facebook Marketplace. We don't do farmers market. That's a little bit too official for us, a little bit out of our area. We're homebodies and we don't do stuff like that. But maybe one day. But I just wanted to say that to encourage you all, because you all can sell starts too.
Absolutely, you can.
You do not have to have a Homestead label. You do not have to have anything like that. Start your own plants, and if you have extra, make that money, because don't let them go to waste. Make the money that you put that work into.
And you made a good point, because we wanted to talk about greenhouses real fast, so pause on the tomatoes just for a minute. We built our cattle panel greenhouse this time last year, and so that cost us, I think I said, about $350. We'll link it at the end of this video.
1.5 day project.
1.5 days to build it, and we had like 4 people.
Yeah.
There was a lot more in the video, but we're being honest, there was about 3 people that helped.
Yeah.
So you can do that as well. And we decided we had all this room, let's sell some starts. The starts paid for the greenhouse literally 2 months later.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that in mind. Maybe if you have 20
Now's
foot.
the time to think about it.
Yeah.
If you want a greenhouse, you can do it. It does not have to be a big deal. You don't have to say, well, I'll never have a greenhouse. You can have a greenhouse.
Right. It doesn't have to be a high tunnel.
No, it does not. It does not have to be a beautiful magic structure.
It can be a magical.
Yes, I mean like a, you know what I mean, like a beautiful magic structure that took months and months and months. You can build a cattle panel greenhouse in 1.5 days.
That's right. And it's 10 by 16. I'm sure you probably got a 10 foot by 16 foot area somewhere at your house that you can throw this bad boy on. So $350, we made all that back just in starts plus more.
Yeah.
Tomatoes. The first one we're excited about, and we love tomatoes. We love them more as a canned sauce and stuff. Well, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
She loves slicers. I'm not huge on the acid, but I do love my yellows, my oranges, and my whites. I'm not a huge fan of just straight red tomatoes.
Low acid. Low acid.
Right. So the one I'm the most excited about right now is the Kentucky beefsteak.
Yeah, buddy.
That guy right there.
What page?
That is page 304.
304.
So I love yellow tomatoes. If you watch Jess, you know, the Dr. Witchies or Whichies or whatever they call them, we're very popular as well. So being a Kentucky boy, Kentucky obviously pops in my head as I think of an heirloom from here.
And we love beefsteaks.
And we love beefsteak tomatoes. That's one of our most favorite to can, just because it's prolific, and then you just gonna get all kinds of tomatoes to harvest, and they're perfectly formed.
Yep.
So I'm excited about a orange Kentucky beefsteak tomato. That one's super exciting. just quick note since I'm on the page. I'm also really excited about the Dad Sunset, which is right there. Same page. Okay, getting into the red ones because whether I like them or not, I love growing tomatoes and I love growing everything. She loves canning tomatoes, and the red ones are going to be our most canned tomatoes. So we do still grow a lot of them.
Yeah.
The one that will always grow, Bonnie's Best Tomatoes.
Bonnie's Best. They're the best.
That's about your best.
Slicer and canner.
Right, that you're going to get.
You cannot go wrong with them.
So if you go back and watch some of our garden walks over the summer, you know we had a lot of issues with ours to start.
That was our fault.
That was our fault. We planted them literally 1 week too early into the ground. We had a bad storm come through. It took them a long time to recover, but after they did, they were absolutely fantastic. But on this page, what I really wanted to show you is the Abe Lincolns.
Yeah.
So right here, this is page 318. I'm really excited about the Abe Lincolns because they're very meaty. I like a meaty tomato, especially, and I know you do as well. That's why we also like the pink ox hearts. We're not showing you that here, but that's one that's going to be back in our garden. We love a good meaty tomato over just juicy.
Yeah.
I guess if that makes sense. If you're following along, we're now on page 337. So last year we grew a bunch of white cherry tomatoes. Absolutely loved them. They were fantastic. We're stepping that up a notch this year. And so we're actually growing some big ones, which this one's a white beauty or a snowball down here at the bottom. And we'll also be growing this one, the great white. So I think it would be really
They're both beefsteaks, actually.
Yeah, they're both beefsteak forms. So what I'm really excited about for two things is I finally get to enjoy some more slicers because I know I'll like these. And also how cool it would be to have some white chili, but with tomatoes.
That'd be good.
Right, that's gonna be pretty cool because I'm hoping to grow enough of these to where we can actually just have full blown white sauce, and I think that'll be neat.
I think it'd be awesome.
Cool. So that's the initial thoughts of excitement of the tomatoes that we have in here, and now moving on to the next one.
Okay, so I flipped to my herb section and I realized that it was nutso.
Not so long.
I did not be frugal on the herbs. So we're actually going to save that for another video.
We'll do that this week though, but we'll have a whole Jen's tea garden video.
But I
all
want to be able to get in depth with you all, and I don't want this video to be too long.
I'll step away so I don't get long-winded.
Yeah.
And she can just talk.
So that's what we'll do. We'll have a whole video designated to herbs and tea gardens that I'm going to grow this year. Stuff I've already grown and stuff I'm going to add to it. So I'm super excited to share that with you all.
Yeah. And
don't forget your books. Carrots Love Tomatoes. This is going to be linked below. It's in our Amazon. It's a must-have. I'm just gonna say it. It's a must-have. We don't say that about a whole lot of things, but you know, there's a lot of stuff you can find on YouTube and there's a lot of stuff you can find on Google. But this book has all the information you need, and you can have it right in front of you in your own library, and you can share it with your family and friends.
And listen, y'all, there's nothing wrong with finding everything on YouTube. Obviously, we love that because we're YouTube.
But we never discourage books.
Absolutely, and say YouTube goes away.
Yep.
What we're gonna go to. Books. So you need to have them. Make sure your libraries are still extremely important to have. So make sure that you get all the books just in case that internet goes away one day.
Yep.
Second one is what we had all of our stuff in here is the whole seed catalog. This is Baker Creek's 2020 edition. We love Baker's Creek. They're amazing, but there's a lot of good ones out there. Jen actually got her tea garden from In My Gardener last year. Probably we'll get him again. We love Luke. Luke is awesome. They have a great company. We also look at others. But you know, Baker's Creek is amazing. They have this awesome catalog for you to start planting out your garden.
That's right.
Okay, y'all. Y'all have fought through our winter videos, right? The stuff that are like, what are we doing? Because we're gardeners. But you know, you get to see a little bit more of our life through this winter with the off-grid stuff, wood burning stoves, how we kind of do this house. It is garden time.
It is. It is time. Whether it feels like it or not, it is. It's time to get it going, start planting it, and get everything in order so that you can hit the ground running.
That's right. So plan that greenhouse if you want to build it. Start figuring out, am I going to grow a bunch of varieties? Is preserving important to me this year? Do I want to grow a lot of something? Do I want to sell? If I want to sell, do I need to start? So if I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to have to start a little bit earlier than just straight from my garden. So all these things, get those wheels turning.
Read. Educate yourself on what to plant, where to plant, how to, and all that. Get that all working in your brain so that you're ready.
Yep, and like I said, this is phase one of these kind of videos of the Stivers Homestead garden planting. So we're going to be bringing a lot of that information to you in our videos. tea garden should be up next.
Yep.
So be ready for that. I love her tea garden. I love seeing her smile with her tea garden. I think it's my favorite thing, just tea garden time. So I think that's it for this video. I hope you found it informative. I hope it got you thinking, because that's really what we wanted to get the end goal to here.
All right. We love y'all.
And until the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.